Hey family, how's it going? This is MC Fire. We're tapping in with you guys for a quick recap video on today. Shout out to the team, shout out to everybody who's in the market and just making trades and making 2025. Sorry, I got this one here that's bothering me. This 2025 the absolute best year that you can make it. Today recently the account hit all-time highs, and it did that because of a little known company called Palantir. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of it, but this company absolutely did numbers. So that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today, is this little known company called Palantir making big waves, man. So we're going to dive right over here really quick to the charts. Nothing really happened that we weren't expecting to happen with Palantir. If you guys have been tracking us for any length of time, we've essentially been in Palantir since way back here. So we'll kind of bring it to the front of the classroom right now. So there. So all the way back here, I mean, this is a pretty clean chart, right? You got a lot of bottom left, top right. Ever since it's entered an uptrend all the way back here on February of 2023. So ever since February of 2023, this thing has actually been taking off. And now it was on our radar all the way back in 2022 because a lot of the main components for looking for a very good stock were already in play here. The CEO, shout out to the CEO, he is in a cohort of just winners. So we'll bring Palantir to the front of the classroom as a cohort. As you can see today, it went up by 23%, partly due to this. Look at the cash to debt ratio. It's amazing. Revenue is amazing. Free cash flow, absolutely off the charts. Net income also increasing. So when it comes to numbers and its ability, this thing just generates profits. Revenue is constantly increasing. You like to see that, and you like to see a free cash flow constantly increasing. Probably some news came out. S&P 500 gains and losses. Today, Palantir stock pops as a result, shows AI strength, right? I really do like this this website because you can get immediate news on something on your watch list there. Um, a couple articles were written on it today, actually quite a few. Why Palantir's skyrocketing today. So let's go check that out really quick. This is from the Motley Fool, right? So obviously there's earnings today. Palantir, we're flying higher on Tuesday. They gained 22.8% as of 3:40 p.m. But we're up as much as 27% earlier in the day. The leg up comes as S&P gained about 1.7 and the Nasdaq Composite gained 1.3. Remember, this also was added to the Nasdaq. So seeing this is very good for the Nasdaq. What I don't like is the Nasdaq kind of gets into things when things are kind of safe right before they take off. So we've been in this since essentially 2 years ago, when it was kind of unsafe, relatively risky, and a newer stock. But their CEO was kind of in that same cohort with the Elon Musk and the Jeff Bezos of the world. His deal just hadn't blown up yet. He was like one of the few of that classroom cohort that his company didn't go, but it did go IPO. It just hasn't like absolutely taken off until now. So Palantir, like, what do? Primarily, they provide AI solutions for government contracts. It's a really big thing. Um, and it basically, they're just saying, hey, yeah, it popped. Essentially, they didn't really get too much into it, but I kind of want to see why. Really, is earnings. Palantir reported huge growth, handily beating Wall Street's expectations. So remember, on this channel, we talk about it constantly. It's not really about do they have advancing revenues. It's more about, can they beat Wall Street analyst expectations. I think it's a silly way to do market evaluations. It takes on too much volatility. But if you can beat the expectations, then the stock is going to pop on earnings. Like MU, it advanced in revenue, but because it did not beat analyst expectations, it actually dropped one time. I thought that was kind of goofy, but yeah. So if you're looking at a stock that's a high flyer, I would say do this. Wait, in this case, just wait for a pullback. But that's primarily what happened with the good old Palantir, advancing from like in the 80s, high 80s, all the way up to 106 in a nice little gap there. If you look at it on the day, was there any kind of indication? Well, no, not really, other than earnings. So if you're an earnings mogul, right? Earnings could be like you might be able to do a straddle and see some profits for that. But outside of that, man, it's not going to be a winning strategy consistently. I'll say. Other than the slight dip and getting in at the slight dip, there was really no indication from our we're already in Palantir, so we're not necessarily looking to scale in on this push. It could come up here and get rejected just as easily. It could break out and run to the upside. So shout out to Palantir. We're gonna bring to the front of the classroom though some of our in plays. There was quite a few of them in our ETF hot list there. Probably gonna be some similar things, but full disclosure, we went on and took a buy in KWeb as well. We wanted to just start scaling into some things, buying some things that are relatively cheap and their infancy, very similar to the way we did with Palantir. Just looking at things in their infancy. If you see down here, it's gone as high as 104. Now, why we have our candles grayed out is because they don't necessarily meet our expectations as it regards to, how can I put it? What we're looking for our setup. But there's definitely a lot of interest as of recent in this stock, and so we want to be in for, like, as it increases here and like absolutely breaks out. We're hoping to get some of that action here. Like, we'll see if we can get a breakout to pivot highs there. We'll see about that, but that's full disclosure. Let's go look at what came across our desk as of right now. So as you can see here, right, XLB is kind of set up to the downside with a nice juicy tight little risk reward candle here. You can put what I will do is I could put alert below that because it's tight doji. So essentially, bulls and bears are fighting here, and it has a lot more volume than normal. So what we'll do is we'll put it below, because ideally it's below the 200 period moving average. Moving average cross to the downside. So XLB, we're looking for. We kind of need some plays to the downside. We already have quite a few, but a lot of our portfolio is looking to the upside. So exposing ourselves to the downside in case there is a market reversal, major market reversal, would be pretty sweet. Let's tap USO really quick. So shout out to USO. It's green. What we can do though, in combination with drill baby drill, we kind of told you guys that in the short term this was going to happen. Didn't take this play to the downside. It kind of goes against what we like to do for our bias there. But now, because there's this kind of stepping in green territory, we're going to go ahead and put an alert there. If it crosses above that previous candle, we'll go ahead and take that USO, kind of pushing to the upside there. This one, you guys should already been locked and loaded on TM. We're on the daily chart, but if we go ahead and cycle over to the weekly, right? New weekly uptrend, waiting for like something like a pullback now, as of now. Okay, so that's something to noteworthy, right? And whenever the trend changes, first pullbacks are a lot of times the best, most profitable. We were kind of waiting on that for here, but it's slingshotted to the upside, so we weren't able to capitalize on that move, going bottom to swing top. But not every move is your move, right? Just wait for your pitch. That's kind of what we're waiting on. So new uptrend, nice pullback here. Any potential if you break above high. It's a little extended though. Ideally, we'd want to be closer to the moving average cloud there. Palantir, of course, on the watch list because of the amount of increased trading volume there. But the reality is we've already made our money. We're moving on with that. Now this one, EQV, is about $10, and what we like to see here on the daily, it looks pretty good. Let's see what it looks like on the weekly. So this is one of the ones we threw in for a potential, hey, oh, let's get some new blood in the mix, some things that people have been looking at, and things of that nature, right? But just be careful. This is probably one that we're just going to go ahead and buy to own. Because yeah, like you see here, the fundamentals kind of work the same way. It's in a squeeze, and the moving average is tight. So if we can get a break above this level right here in the immediate future, we can go ahead and take that. There was also a play potentially a couple days ago for you to do that, but there we go. It's a little high there. Can we bring it down? Can we bring it down a penny? No, it's gonna be stubborn. All right. So we'll throw that bad boy on there. Sweet. Yeah, that's where we need it. CMG Chipotle, like Chipotle Mexican Grill. That's exactly what we want to see. So post earnings, no real action, but it's developing a squeeze in a relatively new downtrend. As you can see, we just kind of walked this puppy up here. At first it was here, didn't break the low. First, next he's here, didn't break the low. Now we have a new setup candle in red territory. So we're still in red territory, indicated by that line. Um, why isn't it? It's not allowing me to do this. So what we'll do, we'll get rid of that, and then we will add this. Boom. We'll just make a new one, and you guys can see it live, or kind of see it as we do it. So break of that, would love to see down to pivot low for a nice good $4 move. Of course, we would stop out at the highs there, being a 2-bar professional, or if it gives a little and then hits our trigger, then of course respecting all of our sellers. That's the two ways we kind of define our risk in the trades, right? So shout out to that there. But yeah, Chipotle Mexican Grill in negative territory. It's a nice setup candle, tight moving average. Let's go look at it on the weekly to see what we're seeing right there. Right now, the 21 period moving average is slumped up, but we're still going to respect the trend because unbalanced volume is red in this case. Okay, doesn't always happen that way, but we'll take that setup if it presents itself. Now, BYD company, if you guys have been following us for any length of time, been a lot of choppy action for BYD, but definitely stepped in here to be a buyer and stepped in again to be a buyer. So BYD, shout out to BYD. It is currently up, and we hope that it will continue to do so. But we added when the 21 period moving average looks like he was going to swing back to the upside from a traditional sense. So really didn't mind taking a couple buys down back here, a couple buys right here for it to potentially advance all the way to the top there. But BYD is a really good company in its exposure to China. Also, Alibaba, a little bit of the same there. Let's go look at the setup though. Kind of washing over this candle right here. A lot of increased activity here in Baba, and a lot of increased activity as of late in BYD. If you notice, we took that off the wash there because we kind of have a buy bias in this, and especially if it's this tight, we're going to go ahead and just pull the trigger on that. And then it expanded. So if we took this as a trade, right, and it blew to the top there, that's a what we call a blowout candle. It didn't quite get up to the rotational zone here that we wanted to see it get to. It is what it is in reality. We're just going to take what we can get, but it just kind of a testament to the system, right? You get a nice pullback, it breaks these guys, and now they're caught offside. So now it pushes to the upside there. Let's bring in AMD. Now we do like AMD, but I mean we're just being realistic. We did take the reversion to the main trade. If you're looking, I'll zoom in and bring it to the front of the classroom here. So AMD, the reversion to the mean trade on January 15th to around January 22nd. Not too many days, but it literally was this setup candle here as it expanded wide. Let me go to show you that, bring that to the front of the classroom. Moving average cloud was extremely wide, and it had expanded away from that. So seeing that it was doing that, I want to kind of have a buy bias in case it started switching to the upside anyway, based off any news or catalyst oncoming. We did get that first sign of danger. We went on and pulled it at the 8 moving average as it was appropriate to do so, because look at that. As soon as it kind of tapped up there, we went on and rolled it in like the next few weeks or the next week, right? It fell through the floor. So we want to let that puppy go. But yeah, AMD, shout out to it, making new strides today. Not really a setup as of right now. Merrick, we talked about Merrick per this trend line here. You see the slight trend line that we wrote, and then it fell to the floor for earnings. So just keep that on your watch list. We did talk about Merrick. We said there's not really a setup, but if it was to be a setup, there's definitely some selling pressure. And then like clockwork, boom, fell to the floor. We did talk to you guys about that. Pepsi. We also talked about Pepsi a few times and told you that Pepsi could definitely be on your watch list to the downside, like clockwork. It went to the downside. And why I say like clockwork is because the setup candle is in effect. Yes, we did get stopped out here. But notice we just wanted to keep to our rules. We could have been a two-bar professional and look to the left. On some of these tighter candles, I will look to the left, maybe for 2 bars. So left one, maybe two right here. But in reality, we just kept our loss small. It did end up falling through very, very nicely, very, very handsome to the downside. Remember, the trend is your friend till it's not. So the trend was still definitely our friend, but we didn't want to assume any risk outside of the setup. There was another opportunity here for you to get that. If you guys have our system, you guys were already probably tracking that. So please use the tools that we give you guys, because it allows you to go in and do exactly what we're doing. It's not anything crazy. It's very basic, right? If people are buying into a non-advantageous position on the trend and then it goes against them on the price action, more than likely going to have to unwind their position because they're trapped, right? And they're going to get desperate. They're going to be hitting the ask and momentum kicks, and so on and so forth. So just something, or really slamming on the bid, really something to watch out for, right? Dominion. I don't know if you guys remember this trade. Really, really good trade here, and this is kind of exactly what I'm talking about. As you're in a downtrend indicated by this red line here on the weekly chart. We use higher time frame analysis incorporated from the weekly chart to define the trend. So the trend is down. I don't care what your emotions say, the trend is down according to this. Then as it rips up, nice little setup candle, people get exposed there. Boom, nice failure on the day, looking really good. Didn't have to hold it for too much longer. First sign danger hit. We rolled some, and then closed the other amount at break even. There is some negative pressure there, but the play's already kind of done there. Disney, shout out to good old Disney. Nice setup candle here for Disney. We'll go ahead and walk this alert down, because moving averages are flat, kind of tight. We like that, and it's in a uptrend. So this is kind of what we want to see. If we get a Come on now. If we get a break on Disney to the upside, that could be really, really sweet, especially with summer around the corner. I could really see Disney popping off to the upside, especially if we get a right around earnings. I would say hopefully you can get a straddle, and no matter which direction it goes for earnings, we'll take it, but only with the trigger, ideally, only with the trigger. You can make it an unbalanced straddle, though, something you could do. DHR. Now I think we talked about DHR kind of ripping up into the moving average clouds. Of course, the moving average clouds is negative, right? Doing this massive red candle, it's probably going to be some follow through, especially going into earnings, and it did exactly that. There's probably some leakage there. When I mean leakage, earnings leakage. So manipulation is out there. It happens. Comcast, good old Comcast. So we wanted to see a reversion to the mean. We're going to go over the weekly and bring that to the front of the classroom. Comcast, CMCSA, very wide moving average cloud at 3 ATR with a nice juicy setup candle that these individuals have not necessarily gotten paid. So this keeps walking down, walking down, walking down, but most of the volume to the downside for these people coming in late is right here. So we can get a break at 34.70. We might be able to get a couple points there. Google, good old Google, breaking highs. So it's not all bad news bears, right? You've got Palantir, you've got Google. A lot of the Mag 7 are doing okay. We'll go take a look at good old Tesla there, see how it's doing. We did kind of get washed on Tesla there. It's bouncing, but didn't like that. We just went on and took the stop and kept it moving. The squeeze still is in play there. So if we wanted to kind of walk this down, we could. If it breaks back a high, we want to just catch that break there. If it breaks back to the high, more than likely it will not. These are the ones that we had for like where our take profits are going to be. But I wouldn't mind taking another stab at this play if it goes down, gets rejected, and comes back. Hopefully, we get a deeper setup candle, though. We don't want to just take this one at the highs, ideally. Uber. Uber could be setting up potentially for a trend change. So we're going to bring Uber up on the weekly, right? You see this pushing above the previous week's high out of this barcoding range there. You could set up for a nice trend change. We'll have to wait and see. Ideally, we like to take the setups that we like, which are wait for the trend change, wait for the pullback or rip, and then get into the play for what it's worth, right? And that's just our swing. We don't have to take every play. See, this is what I'm talking about right here. Nice trend change, nice pullback. Nice juicy setup candles right here on the pullback. Stack moving averages that are positive as it crosses below above. You take the buy, and then it just continues on. A little bit of a pullback, and then wham, nice rip. Where you're probably running it off at this level right here. So shout out to Uber. But that's kind of what you want to do. It's no different for this. So yes, this setup candle is here, but you got to watch in case there is earnings there. So one way or the other, you just kind of be mindful of that. And it's resting right below its 200 period moving average. So it's kind of going more choppy than anything. But right as it stands for the rules, for the way it's maneuvering, we have to take Uber potentially to the downside. Yeah, MPC. So MPC, um, yeah, MPC is last but not least. And if you've got the to the downside, crossing below the low is pretty sweet. So there we go. MPC, good old marathon. So that's all we have for the in plays, guys. We didn't want to take we didn't want you guys to get bombarded. Some people have been saying that the videos have been a little long, so we're gonna kind of limit them to recapping the hot takes, and then maybe even segmenting the hot takes, and then segmenting the actual just the Sunday videos. But during the week, just might do a recap and keep it simple, keep it small there. For that, let's see, we got CCI. Just give you guys an update on how we're doing. CCI kind of pushed a little bit more to the downside. We're looking for it to continue on to the downside. SMCI also, we did get that to the downside. We're taking some heat on that currently, but we'll see how it looks post earnings. You also have, of course, we kind of showed you guys Palantir, QQQM. We are still actually we do have, we're selling these puts right here at the 227 mark. So we're just getting premium. We were selling these and selling these. These probably still will expire pretty good, but we already let them go for risk sake. But these ones we still have, and as it pushes away, we get profits on QQQM, just getting that nice juicy premium, like that premium, baby. Oh, you guys can't see that. Sorry. Sorry. So yeah, we're selling these at the 227 puts, selling those, and it's pushing up away from it. So we like that. Also, I showed you guys CCI real quick. I'll go back over that. Our red arrow is on the right hand side there. As you can see, that's where we took our position. It is in profit. Hopefully, we can get some more momentum to the downside coming up here. And SMCI, not too crazy. Taking some heat on it, right? But not too much heat. So we'll stay in the kitchen there as it stands for that. We also have, I think that's about it. I think that is it for that. Like we got out of XLF, got out of JD, Apple. We can look at O and XLRE, right? Yeah, O taking some heat, actually giving us some profits today, giving us back some profits today, and then XLRE in the same cohort. Actually, nice push to the downside, and then now it's up here. So it's like, ugh. We'll see about it though. If it can get out get out the block, and start pushing to the downside. So that's our market recap for what we have on the board right now. Thank you guys so very much for tapping in with us, and we love you guys. This is like what we love to do. So um, catch us on the flip side. If you like what you've been seeing, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll tap in with you guys on the flip side. Peace.